Welcome back. So this video is going to be all about recruiting virtual assistants. So finding the right team or staff is paramount to any business success. You can't do everything on your own. If you want your business to grow and continue growing, you can only get so far. So finding the right team is key to that growth in your business. There are two websites that we would recommend. One is called Upwork and one is called onlinejobs.ph. So Upwork is global, you can hire people from anywhere, and then onlinejobs.ph is a Filipino website. One thing I will talk about is the culture of a lot of Filipino virtual assistants. They will already know online arbitrage. It's kind of an area that is common for Filipino virtual assistants to work in. And there are advantages and disadvantages to that. Advantages, obviously, they come with a lot of knowledge already. They potentially know how to source and they have experience in sourcing and, an understanding of the online arbitrage world. They'll already know key terms that you won't have to teach them. So it cuts down on the amount of training needed. But sometimes it can also mean that kind of gets saturated. Everyone knows everybody, and it depends what you're looking for, because you could end up in a situation, I'm not saying it will happen, not tarring everyone with the same brush, but you could end up in the situation where a virtual assistant is sourcing for multiple people and then they're giving the same deals. So, if you want your deals to be for you and you alone, that's something that you need to bear in mind and have that conversation and make sure that you are on the same page. So think about what you're looking for. If it's purchasing, it needs to be someone you can trust and you can have that relationship with. But like I said, the onlinejobs.ph, you just have that in your mind. I'm not saying it's going to happen and it's not a big deal, but if it matters to you that the deals are only for you, then just look elsewhere potentially, or be clear with your virtual assistant, like I said. If you go to Upwork, it's really easy to post a job. It's free, but you are expected to pay through Upwork as part of the terms and conditions. With online jobs, you don't have to pay through them, but there is a fee to set up your profile. As I said, Upwork is global, Online Jobs is Philippines. So think really carefully about what you want your virtual assistant to do. And you need to do that before you advertise, because you need to know what you're recruiting for to be able to write that job advert, but also to know if the people that are applying for the position are the people that you want, that you're looking for. Be positive, be passionate in that job post, talk about your business. The way you are in that job post will impact the people that apply for that job, and then ultimately the people that you interview and therefore the team that you get. Think about how to describe the job. Sourcing for online arbitrage, maybe explain a bit about online arbitrage, finding deals, the training that you will give, and the expectations in terms of hours. Different VAs will have a different approach to hours. So for the UK, for example, and possibly in the US, we're quite driven by hours. So we will have a working day of maybe starting at 9, finishing at 5 or 6. So it's quite structured. But a lot of other countries and cultures are more flexible. So you need to be aware that there might be cultural differences. They might not want to work or expect to work a certain amount of hours. They might just expect to be looking for a certain amount of deals, for example. So be clear about your expectations, what you would be happy with. Do you want them sat at a desk for that amount of time? Is that what you're going to be paying them? So are you paying them on an hourly basis? Or do you just expect them to find a certain amount of deals? So are you paying per deal? If you're going to focus more on deals, you might want to have kind of a basic salary and then bonuses for every deal. Sourcing some days can be really easy and sometimes it's much harder. So having a basic salary gives them that's job security, they can pay their bills, and then bonuses on deals they find. So that's quite common. But have a chat with the virtual assistant about their expectations. Like I said, if they come from the Philippines, they're likely to have experience of sourcing and how they like to work. One thing you must remember is you do not need to have an employment contract with your virtual assistant. You need to make sure they are aware of that and they are responsible for paying their own taxes. It's nothing to do with you. And you need to make sure that they invoice you every month or however often you're going to pay them for their work, and then you pay them based off the back of that. You keep that invoice for your records, for your accounts. It proves that you're paying them as a freelancer and they are not an employee. But like I said, it's something you need to make sure that they're aware of. So recruiting virtual assistant is fun, it's exciting. Your business has got to the point where you need to take on a person, and that's a real big milestone in your business. You need to be able to read people. So always make sure you interview on video. You need to see that person. If they don't want to be on video, then maybe kind of think about why. Most will, but think about why if they don't want to be. Bear in mind, obviously, is it just because they don't have a webcam? That's a little bit different than refusing to be on video. So try and chat Chase face to face. That's something that I would say is essential, really. Build a rapport and do at least 2 interviews. So once your job's posted, you'll have a lot of applicants. So you need to decide before you start reviewing them. Do you want someone with experience, or are you happy to take on a beginner? Beginner enables you to kind of have a bit more say over how they work, because you can kind of mold them. But obviously the advantages of having someone who has experience is less training is needed. If you have in your head whether you want someone with experience or not, it enables you to filter out, people easier from your applicants, because you will have lots of applicants. One tip that we know works well to make sure that the applicant has read that job description. So in the middle of your kind of job advert or your job post, put in a question that you want them to answer. Be quite specific. So, it could be something about, tell me about something, or, what is your favourite website to source from? Or, for example, something like that. Because it shows that they've actually then read that job description if they tell you that in their application. You want someone with attention to detail, and you want someone that's read that job post and knows that that is a job that they like the look of, they think they could do, you're someone they want to work for, not that they've just clicked apply on every single job. So the fact that they then answer that question in their application enables you to see that they have read it and they've got attention to detail and they've taken on board what you've written. You can eliminate people that haven't done that because they don't have those skills that you want. I would say never do more than 10 interviews. That's a lot anyway, but maybe 4 or 5 or even 6. Filter out based on the experience that you're looking for and then choose your people. Don't believe everything you read. People want to impress you and catch your attention, but in interviews you can clarify any details that you want to. So one thing I would say is when you're interviewing, be polite, be friendly, be welcoming, tell them what to expect about the job, about the interview, and then about the job, find out about them, and also give them the chance to ask questions at the end. Always make sure you ask what they're looking for and, find out about them before you start talking about the job. You want them to talk first, because if you say, then they'll kind of repeat what you've said. So you want them to speak first. We always say kind of 90% of the interview should be the interviewee talking, and you should be doing 10% of the talking, not the other way around. Spend most of the time listening and understanding. Tell them about the job, of course, but just listen to them. It will make it easier for you to make your decision if you've listened and you've kind of, got to know them a bit. Like I said, do at least 2 interviews. Don't be afraid of asking questions, but keep it friendly, keep it positive, professional. You're representing your brand. Decide who you want to go with. We would suggest maybe setting up a system so that you don't get back to everyone straight away. So you maybe you speak to the one that you do want to start working for you. You get them to start working for you, make sure they're on board, and possibly don't even go back to anyone else until they've started on their first day, turned up, everything's happy, it's all good. Then you can go back and say, unfortunately, we're not taking it forward. Thank you very much for your time. We really enjoyed meeting you. You'll keep your details on record. Leave that door open just a bit, because you never know when you might need another virtual assistant. Of course, we hope everything works out with the first one that you recruit, but it could even be that you need another one because your business is growing so much, and then you've already got details of people that you did actually like, and you haven't closed that door completely. So that's kind of it about recruiting virtual assistants. Be polite, represent your brand, treat people how you'd like to be treated. Think about what you want and listen to them. And remember, no employment contract. Make sure they invoice you for payment, and add that little question in the job advert, because that will really help you out. See you in the next video.